Hello coin collectors out there, welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. It's been a while, but we have the return of the Eisenhower dollar back to the Big D Coins channel. We have a full stack of Bicentennial ones right here, which we are going to spend most of our time discussing. We've got them in all different varieties of wear and tear. And then we've got some other ones from 1970 as well that we'll talk about the mintages and values. So behind these Bicentennial ones, we've got a 1971, 72, 74, 77, and a 78. One of the reasons why we don't have the 1973 here is because that is the most rare of the Eisenhower dollar coins, in which there were only 1,769,000 of those that were made in the year 1973. But let's slow down a little bit. What are we looking at right here? It is the Eisenhower dollar. The Eisenhower dollar was the first of the modern dollar coins. It was made from 1971 to 1978. Starting in 1979, that's when we had the Susan B. Anthony, up until 1981, and then she made a return in 1999. And then from 2000 on till today's date, they are making the Sacagawea and the presidential dollar coin. So this one right here was the first in the modern dollar coin series. Unfortunately, it had a rather short run because people weren't too fond of it, based mostly on its size. Here's a Kennedy half dollar, which is considered a pretty large coin, and I put that over the obverse right there. And here is a current presidential dollar coin right here. Put it over the obverse of the Eisenhower dollar, and you can see that the Eisenhower dollar is a massive coin. It has a diameter of 38.1 millimeters, and it's got a pretty hefty weight too. It weighs 22.68 grams. So there's a lot of coinage that you see with the Eisenhower dollar, which, as we were saying earlier, led to it not being as popular. The design, however, is pretty cool, and they actually changed it up for the bicentennial year. So I'm going to bring in the 1978, and then here is the bicentennial version. Now the obverse design is the same, with the exception of the dual date, which gets added at the bottom. We see at the bottom 1776 to 1976 right there, versus the other years we just see one singular date. As far as the mintage for the bicentennial coins go, the mintage on that, there are a couple different varieties, but for variety 1 of the nickel clad ones that we're looking at right here, so these are the non-silver versions, there are only 4 million of those that were made. With the variety 2, there were 113 million of them that were made. These are just for the Philadelphia Mint. And then for the Denver Mint, let me see if I can grab one of those for you so you can see where the mint mark is on it. So here's our bicentennial Denver Mint coin. That's where you'll see the mint mark right there. There were 21 million with variety 1 and 82 million with variety 2. However, the mintages do kind of fluctuate on those from 4 million up to 113 million. But the interesting thing is people were holding on to these coins because they had a good idea that they would be valuable. That's generally what happens with circulating commemorative coins. So at an EF40 grade, these are only going to be worth $2. However, when you get up into that mint state 65 grade, that's when the bicentennial Eisenhower dollars can be worth a lot of money. The Red Book has a price guide for the variety 1 Philadelphia Mint at $160. The PCGS website does give a little bit of detail as far as what separates the variety 1 from the variety 2. So I'll pull that up and share it with you. So type 1 has a thicker letter, while type 2 has thinner letters. Both types are very common, but the type 1 is not as common as the type 2. So type 1 is the same as variety 1. So if you've got that thicker letters to it, now these ones it's better to look at pictures to see the difference, but the thicker letters, those will be the variety 1 and a little bit more rare, but only once you get past that mint state 65 grade. One of the cooler things on the PCGS website is their rarity and survival estimate, in which they estimate that only 22,000 of them have survived at a mint state 65 or better. As far as the prices for the real high-end coins go, I'm looking at the price guide for the 1976 D Type 1 regular strike. And for that, PCGS has a price guide of $11,500 for that mint state 67, in which they have graded just a total of 9 of them. However, they've graded 1,634 of the mint state 65. So you can see that there is a large drop off there in the quality of the strike from 65 to 67. Not many have been able to get that mint state 67 designation to it. Let's call out what we see here on the reverse side of it. So what we're looking at for the regular issue right here, this is the Apollo 11 mission insignia, which is an eagle holding an olive branch flying above the moon with the Earth in the background. They did change up the design a little bit throughout the Eisenhower dollar series. One of the main issues they had with it is that the striking of the Earth right here did not come out very well. So they changed up the design on the dies to try and make it so the Earth would come out in a better, crisper image to it. So that's what we're looking at with the regular strike. Again, this was made from 1971 to 1978, excluding the years 1975 because there were none made in 1975, and the Bicentennial year. Let's slide in the Bicentennial quarter to share with you. And I'll give you a little bit of a description of what we're looking at right here for the reverse side of the coin. The reverse side features the Liberty Bell. Pretty obvious right here. We see that the lettering on it hasn't worn out on this particular coin, so that's a good sign. That's one of the high areas on the reverse side of the coin, so that will be the first area to wear out. And then we see the moon behind it. And then we've obviously got the denomination down here below. The engraver was Dennis R. Williams, so we see his initials right here, Dennis R. Williams, E Pluribus Unum. So what are the mintages for the other years in this series? Let me get that for you. Then we will sign off, and I'll talk to you again on another day. So 1971. I'll grab that 1971. So 1971, we saw 47 million made at the Philadelphia Mint, 68 million made at the Denver, and 6 million made at the San Francisco Mint, which are the silver coins. So the S Mint mark will be for the silver coins in this series. 1972, we had high mintages again. 1973 is really the only year where the mintages drop significantly, in which there were 1,769,000 that were made at both the Philadelphia and the Denver Mint. I guess I'll skip on reading out the mintages because they're pretty high. They're in the tens or hundreds of millions for the rest of the years. All right, everyone, that's all the info that I've got for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It was kind of short, fun look at the Bicentennial Eisenhower dollar and the regular issue Eisenhower dollar as well. Thank you very much, everyone, and best of luck coin collecting out there. Enjoy.